Okay, I thought I started this video earlier, but I was mistaken, so I'm starting it now. Okay, if you guys hear the tone of my voice and how I'm not like if I'm not swearing, that's a sign that that I'm not being manipulated at the moment. But if I start swearing or anything like that, like too much, I've come to realize that that's a sign when my vibrations are too low. So, wow. Even as I'm speaking right now, I'm getting I guess what you would call it is somewhat of tinnitus, but it's also the what do they call that? The man, what is that called? Like I think it's like the V2K, the voice to skull technology, but like they have it playing computerized, meaning they'll like lock in on some sort of audio track or some sort of reference or something like that, and then it'll just have the automated system playing that. But I want people to understand the characteristics from what I've been able to find out. Now, when I start swearing a lot in the videos, as I'm certain most of you all have seen, that's a sign that my vibrations have lowered. And I realize this because when I heighten my vibrations, I don't act out like that. I don't. So that's letting me know that that's not me. That's just me in a lowered vibrational state. So when I'm in a lower vibrational state, I'm more vulnerable to their and they know this too. When this goes for anybody. When you're in a lower vibrational state, you are basically vulnerable to this technology that they use. And again, it is definitely a spiritual warfare, which is why they're so desperate with siphoning off your energy. And that's just all there is to it. Now, I am definitely, as I mentioned before, many different times, I am all for basically putting an end to this criminalized organization. But here's the problem, people. It isn't like we just got a few people in office, a few people in the government, and then all of these factions. Dude, we have this is the part. Here's what we're dealing with right now. Since Project Paperclip, since 9/11, we've lost the people who would actually help to put a stop to this, who were on the inner side that had all the records and stuff dated down. Since then, we've lost them, and then we had infiltration from our own government bringing Nazis in. Along with, so we had there's terrorists in the government, yes. So it's not only just that, you also have it to where well, you got it to where the criminals are working along with the terrorists. The criminals are working along with the police. Criminals are working along with the FBI. Criminals are working along with the government. That's what we're dealing with right now. You got all of them on the same team. You're talking about Democrats and Republicans. Dude, there is no different sides. It's all controlled by the same thing. You try to go to court with this again. I wish it was that simple, but from what certain testimonies I've heard from other fellow TIs, not just TIs, but also there was a whistleblower who confirmed this. If you go to court, they swap out the judge, dude. They swap out the judge. The cops know about that this is happening. They know. We all know that the police are aware of this. But you see, it isn't them who we have to convince. No, it's the people who are unaware that this is happening that we need to convince. Because think about it, the more and more people who wake up to that this is happening, the more chance we have a chance of fighting it. But we need to share the methods that we use to fight this stuff with them so they'll be able to defend themselves too. But the problem is ciphering off who is who. As chances are they got a lot of people out there who are just already in line with this mess, who already know about it. And that's where lies the problem. Now, one of the things started to realize is that the whole point of them doing their street theater, when you go out, you got to learn to ignore that. You got to learn to just ignore it Walk past it. Don't pay it no mind. Don't give it your energy. Don't give it your attention, because when they're doing that, they're trying to program you through scripted behaviorism. Hence the whole trauma-based mind control. That's why they call it trauma-based mind control, because they're doing various things to trigger trauma. They'll do either noise tactics, color harassment, anything to trigger trauma, and they'll utilize that along with the stuff that they poisoned you with in order to gain control. Again, everybody, you need to heighten your vibration. You have to do that, because that will bring you more. That will bring you closer to yourself. Um, I do have a playlist on the channel, so y'all can check that out. I already did a video on about some a website y'all can use to download whatever videos you want, because you best believe they're probably most likely going to take that stuff down later on. Not now, but it's going to happen to where like you probably won't even be able to get it. If I had to really do an analysis on the characteristics of this mind control, it's definitely synthetic implanted thought based that they do. Like, when you have like a thought to do something, they'll implant that thought, and then it's in order to trigger a reaction. So it has the ability to boost your focus to that action via the thought. The way that you beat this, though, is that you need to really, really be strict on what you're eating, and you need to be strict on what you're bathing with and what you're using to bathe. So, in reference to this, and this is going way off topic, right? But I was watching a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 5. Now, the main protagonist, known as, his name is, he's mostly go by Big Boss, but his code name is Snake. Now, this guy, right? Not gonna spoil too much for anybody, but at the beginning, right? You find him in a hospital after a massive incident that happened. Not gonna go into detail about the incident though. However, they apparently the enemy sends an assassin towards him, right? This woman, his name is Quiet. She proceeds to try to murder Snake. She fails due to the fact that there was an insurgent on they were sent in to basically prevent Snake from dying. The guy sat there the entire time while he was in a coma for about like 2 years. I think it was like two to maybe 3 to 4 years or something like that. Somewhere around that length. But anyway, they ended up in a scuffle. They prevent her from killing Snake, and eventually she gets lit on fire. Dude, the same woman who got lit on fire shows up later on in the game. Her hair is perfectly fine. Her skin is perfectly fine. No burn marks, no damage, no nothing. None of that. And they find out exactly what had healed her. Parasites. Yeah. Nano-based parasites. And they tried many different methods to hurt her. It didn't work. So the one thing they tried was seawater. Everybody, seawater has a lot of salt in it. Right? It does. So when they poured this on her, they couldn't, the parasites couldn't stand it at all. Now, these nano bots that they use are parasitic based. And it's not that there aren't any parasites that can survive in seawater. There are some, but those ones are completely different from the ones that they have laced onto us when it comes to this mind control shit, And part of my language, but as you see how that blurted out? I don't really normally curse like a sailor, like you have all seen in my videos. That's a sign that my vibrations are being lowered, and it's against my will that that's even happening. I'm definitely gonna take another use the barrel today because it's been a little while since I've done that. Um, One thing I have did though, right? One thing I did do was I used the barrel, the anti-nano barrel, before I made not the barrel but the bucket, and I used the rife belt at the same time, right? Dude, they zapped me in my pelvis because of that. I had it killing off the what is that? The killing off the fungus, and I had a video played back on top of that, killing off the parasites, which was the 35 video, right? So I basically mixed two sounds together, playing off at the same time in comparison with one another, or should I say unison? Sounds a lot better. Playing together in unison, and they zapped my pelvis. So it seems like every time it comes to the zapping, it's always in my pelvis. Now, when I got that All Lives Matter shirt, I checked the back of it. It's in the pelvis region, right towards the lower section. So this stuff is manifesting itself in my pelvis. So now, what I'm thinking is that that must be precisely where it's hiding, since that's normally like that's close to where your core is at. It's probably going to be the same thing with everybody. I could show you all the shirt. When you start to see your clothes, TIs, if you're being hit with directly energy weapons, you will start seeing discoloration on your clothing, and it's not from bleach. Mm-mm. Now, if you're wearing like lighter looking clothes, you might not catch it. If you're wearing something that's colored like like a white t-shirt, if you're wearing maybe a red t-shirt, you won't really see it. But if you have like a black shirt on, if you have something like dark, even a navy blue shirt on, right? And you wear that long enough, you will see that stuff. You will see it obviously. Nearly every shirt that I've shown on that last video, you all saw it. And those were the shirts I was using when I went to work. Those shorts I wore were some of the shorts that I was using to go to work in. So they were blasting the crap out of me. They were blasting me a lot when I was in there. A whole lot. Not even just there, but here too. I'm definitely getting a lot stronger, but I hope you all will notice the difference as I'm talking, how the elevation is changing. So again, if you find yourself starting to swear when it comes to like certain aggravate, that's another form of a form of the manipulation they use. They'll try to channel aggravation, to basically trigger trauma. And of course, you'll find yourself either swearing, getting mad, or whatever. I remember way back when this first happened, like I didn't know what to think. Like the situation was so crazy, but then as it happens, they would like send a guy down the hallway near one of my doors, right? I couldn't figure out what he was doing until I started to really become the wiser of the situation. They were trying to upset me while sending that guy to my door in the hallway to record. So the whole thing was just basically structured, just structured from the get-go. They planned this, as you all know, and it was just a complete setup. Every attempt at that was an attempt to give off the impression this guy is mentally ill. People, this is for the people who don't know. Target individuals are not mentally ill, okay? We're not mentally ill. I don't know how many times I have to tell people that. Targeted, listen to what I am telling you. Targeted individuals are not mentally ill. Get that through your skull. This whole thing is in a situation to control people. People are going to use that term, calling TIs mentally ill, to discredit them. I can't trust a person who says TIs have some sort of mental disability, because it sounds like you're actually working for the opposition. This is why I brought up that one channel, that anti-gang stalking program YouTube channel that I mentioned before. How like it was very peculiar what this guy was getting at, and he's trying to say like I've watched the video what he was saying. Several things really bothered me though. He doesn't want them bringing the he doesn't want targeted individuals to mention anything about directed energy weapons in the court if they take this to court. I find that pretty damn odd. Pardon my language. He's trying to say that he says this, that targeted individuals have have a mental disability, and he even says it's true. Dude, come on, man. There is nothing wrong with targeted individuals, okay? We're just victims of the circumstances of the cruel individuals who have plagued this land for years, not just years, but generations. And that's just the truth. There is a program that these Satanists have. And it's in the program of harvesting people's energy and harvesting their organs. Okay. There's so many companies involved in this, a lot, that they will fight tooth and nail to cover it up. They'll do whatever they can. They will lie. They'll be deceitful to you. They will trick you. They will try to pay you off. They'll do whatever they possibly can to keep their power. They'll do whatever they can to keep their power and keep their money. They don't care who dies in the process of this. These people who are responsible for this program are criminals of humanity itself. Because little do people know, and I'm gonna say this again, targeted individuals are not mentally ill, okay? The sooner people understand that, the better. And little do people know, targeted individuals are not the only ones who are being, illegally experimented on. No. Even the unsuspecting citizen is being experimented on by these demons. The stuff that they put in the air is something that everybody is breathing in that they are not aware of. Geoengineering is a massive problem. And I want to definitely fight against this, but it's not something that I'm really sorry to say this, TIs, but this is not. I don't know if this is something we're actually going to win in the court system. Maybe like I'm telling you how it is. I mean, I'm willing to fight, but it's gonna take a lot of the people to understand the situation and to be aware. Dude, let me tell you some of the stuff I've seen. I've seen police officers, and I've indulged in a situation like this. I've been involved in a situation that happened. If you all saw the McDonald's incident video, you heard the audio log. You heard that I did talk to the cops, kept asking several different things, and they didn't want to check the camera footage to find out who these people are. I had the license plates. The guy didn't care too much about it. The guy claimed, oh, we can't do anything with that. I don't know how more clear I can be that the police can't be trusted, the judges, the lawyers can't be trusted. Again, Honestly, I do believe that the whole point of them actually saying that, oh, we have an investigation out on this criminal organization, I believe that's their excuse to keep us on this damn grid. That is my most sincerest belief on that. And that's not just that, but after seeing that one dude's channel, what he was, what he was talking about, I believe that guy is trying to fool TIs into make, giving them the impression that he's trying to help them. No, I don't believe, not from what he said. No, in no way, shape or form, that guy is trying to help TIs. He wouldn't have basically been, if he was trying to help TIs, he would not call them mentally ill. If he was trying to help TIs, he would not tell them that, not bring up anything about the directed energy torture. The cops didn't want me bringing anything like that up when I was making a statement. So what do you think that, if I see someone who claims who's trying to help TIs out, what do you think that means when they say something like that? They're playing for the enemy, and that's all there is to it. And it's really hurtful that people have the nerve to do what they're doing. It really is. There have been people who have suffered tremendously, so badly. I'm lucky enough to even be in a position that I'm in. I could be just as well as even in a bad position, not even being able to get the stuff that I needed to get the heck out of here. Hence why I'm actually trying to find fellow TIs to, come up with a plan to get off the grid while we can. Something. I'm not saying don't gather evidence. No, definitely continue to gather evidence, because that proof is something that it's more important for the people to see that than it is the government. It's more important for the people to see that than the police. It's more important for the people to see that than any of these factions, because these factions, you got to understand, these factions of government, these factions of police, these factions of FBI are all in on it. There may be people somewhere within these, within the workings of these places that are not a part of the corruption, but they don't know what's really going down. They have absolutely no idea. They're completely clueless. When it comes to this mind manipulation, TIs, you have to ignore what they're doing, what these perps are doing. When you go out and enjoy your day, you got to learn to ignore it. It is not easy. It isn't. I get it. But you need to have it to where like your equipment can do the work for you, and you don't have to respond to what they're doing. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to talk. You can just basically, be mute, because you see, when you start talking, they'll try to utilize that against you. And don't fall for the whole BS of them talking to the side with somebody. Don't fall for that, because the person they're talking to is in on it too. So they'll try to give you they'll try to fool you and making you believe, oh, well, like this person's like immediately discrediting you in front of you like that. But the guy he's talking to is in on it as well. Or the female that person's talking to is in on it too. So if you all saw the video when it came to me being on a bus, you saw what the bus driver was doing. The dude he was talking to was the same guy in the red shirt. So I knew it was scripted. But now that I've actually become more aware, I actually have more of a chance of fighting against this than I was able to before. This system is so corrupted that these people, dude, I think the only time you will ever win a court case when it comes to this is if you're only aware of the stalking. But if you're aware of like the directed energy attacks and it gets that far, oh no, there's no chance of there's even less chance of even winning that court case, because and let me basically make it very obvious for you. Going to court and having a lawyer costs a lot of money. Have you not noticed the tactic that they will use, saying, "Oh, well, like we got to keep analyzing this. We got to keep, doing trial and error. We got to keep, our investigation is still ongoing. Have you not noticed that tactic before that they use? I'm going to tell you what that tactic is. They use that tactic for the person who's paying to, get the investigation actually underway for it to pass. They will basically do that, and they'll continue to keep doing that shit. Pardon my language, but they'll continue to keep doing that as a way to buy time to find out what's the best way they can get the person out of there with the least amount of, punishment. Whoever the defendant is, when it comes to their own, they'll find a way for that. So they'll use that excuse saying that they're still investigating. They're still investigating. This is the oldest trick in the book. They have done this time and time again. And that's why I don't believe wasting, I just don't trust the court system. I don't trust it at all. I want to stop this, but I have absolutely no faith in the court system due to the fact that if it's anywhere, shape, or form under their control like that, no, I'm sorry. It's just no. But that's just me. But despite the fact of how I feel like that, if fellow TIs come together and fight this crap in the court system, I'm going to be right there with you. So despite the fact of how I feel about the situation, it won't stop me from becoming an ally to you. It won't stop me from helping you put an end to this. We're going to have our disagreements. All TIs are not going to agree on every single thing. But there's one thing we can all agree on, that we want this program to be stopped. Or at least we want to be out of the crossfire for when the real stuff start to begin, because you don't want to be around when that happens. It's going to get to a point to where, the riots are going to be more, this isn't until later on in the year. Later at the end of the year, you're going to start seeing stuff like this. It's going to be to where riots are, really ramping up. It's becoming less and less possible to to live. And that's what they're gunning for. They want to make the situation to where it's most likely a lot likely to actually live in a society, in today's society, because they're stripping away all the foundations that you would need to live in society. Like the fact that if you're a TI and you're trying to get a job, don't they always mess with that? Don't they always infiltrate that? I bet you, because I'm telling you they do. And I know for a fact because before I lost my old job, I was still where I was working at. I had actually was able to finally get a second job. Yeah, I was finally able to get a second job. And what happens when I had that second job? The guy there ends up going out like, "Do I know you? I don't know this guy. This is this was the African American guy that was saying this to me. Looked like he wasn't dressed very well, and he looked like he was really coming from the slums. And coincidentally, the guy looks at his phone. He looks at his phone, and it turns out I didn't know any of these people. I only just met them, but they knew me. Oh yeah, they knew me. Yeah, they did. And what do you know? The gaslighting starts. It started the same day I started working there. So I quit that job, right? And then I find out that someone quit the exact same job for the exact same stupid reasons that they were doing crap like that to people after I had made a complaint. So when I was telling the lady at the place, who sent me there, I told her what happened, right? It's just going like, well, like you need to get proof and whatever, right? And I understand that. I do. I really do. But I just want people to understand, what they, some of their tactics of which they do. If you take this to court, they're gonna pull a stunt to where they're saying, well, we're investigating, we're still looking at it. They're coming up with stupid excuses. People, they have done this. They have used that same excuse, even with evidence that there shouldn't be no question about it. There shouldn't be any question about it. When it came to police abusing their authority, beating the crap out of an unarmed man who did put his hands up, who had his hands behind his back. They even had the dog chewing this guy's leg. And they say they still have to analyze the footage. So I want people to just understand, when you try to take this to court, what you're going to be dealing with. On how dumbed down some of these people are. And you see, they act that way. They act like they got to analyze every single thing. The whole point of why they're analyzing every single thing is so they can get the defendant who is on their side out of harm's way, out of trouble, and at least, to put them under the least amount of, backlash as possible. That, at that point, you're basically dealing with favoritism that has infected its way into the court system. That's what you're dealing with. I hope people understand this and why it's important to come up with a plan, for both yourself and your family. Some type of backup plan, why it's important for TIs to come together. Now is the time to do it. If there was ever a time, now is that time. It's not an easy thing. I know. I know because I've experienced the crap that they have done. And it's not easy, which is why it's important for us to get this stuff out of our systems. Today I'm going to do the most heaviest detox I've ever done. But I probably won't make a video until tomorrow because of how exhausted I'm probably going to be as a result of this. That's a maybe. Maybe I will make a video. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. I hope everybody's staying safe, staying strong. Take care.